even when it looks like it's not a big deal, him going down is a big deal. Whether it's on your back, your legs, your arms and stuff.
The bigger you are, the harder you fall.
Getting back up and stuff. I mean, and you can't do it like the other night. I was texting you the first 3 minutes of the game. He was on the floor 4 times. Yeah. 4 times the first 3 minutes of the game. That's got to take a beating on your body, and it just catches up to you.
And the Philadelphia Phillies they win yesterday, get another win, 4-3 against the Colorado Rockies.
Nick,
guess what? Don't look now, but our bullpen is the strength of this team. I mean, we're getting timely hits, and by the way, we're beating up on a Colorado team that's 6-16.
Same score both games, by the way. 1-run
win. You gotta beat the teams that you're playing
on your schedule,
right? That's on your schedule. So I'm not going to be an apologist for the fact that they took 2 already from Colorado. But the fact is that the bullpen in both games have been very solid. Mm-hmm. They've been getting timely hits. Brandon Marsh and Nick Castellanos, I think, are the story so far offensively.
Castellanos with his first homer of the season yesterday.
First 2 homer. He had 2 homers.
He had 2 homers?
He had 2 homers.
Oh, boy. He's heating up.
But 2.
And the other thing, very quietly, that people aren't talking about, you ever see him when he's on third base lately? I mean, he is distracting. He's a pest. A ball. I mean, he's scoring runs just by him doing stuff on third base. He's like walking halfway down. Sometimes you think he's going to steal.
So every Sunday throughout the baseball season, we go on the mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by the John R. Elliott Hero Campaign for Designated Drivers. Tommy talks about the Phillies week that was, and we preview Sunday's game throughout the baseball season. And then hour 2 today, we got a really great guest coming in, Paul Guenther, longtime NFL assistant. He's been a defensive coordinator for both
Cincinnati,
the
Raiders,
and he's going to come in here.
Most recently, Minnesota,
and he's going to come in and join us, and we're going to talk Eagles draft, and we're going to get in depth.
We have a whole hour with him.
We have a whole hour. We haven't really, with the Sixers and the Phillies started, we haven't really, like, the draft has kind of been overshadowed because.
Correct. Sixers.
Yeah, because of the Sixers. Now, did you guys see the press conference with Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni? It was like a love fest. Just smiling and joking around.
That's what happens when you go to the Super Bowl.
There you go. That's what happens when you go to the Super Bowl. He gets it. Howie Roseman becomes the executive of the year. Everything's beautiful, sunny in Philly, right?
Yeah. So, no, it's going to be good to have Paul on because I'm going to pick his brains on stuff that the normal fan just doesn't know what goes on the day-to-day operations. Even when it comes down to this draft, like I want to really pick his brain where he's a defensive coordinator and there's an offense coordinator. There's the head coach and
who wins that battle, right?
Yeah. So like, did they come down and literally pull them inside and say, "Hey, Paul, what are your keys that you need for that?"
Right.
And then they go to the offense corner. What are the keys? And then who makes that final decision?
And who's the best player? There's a lot of different
best player on the board.
Best player on the board. Your need, fill your need, right? So we'll be able to ask him all those questions, and we'll get a definitive answer, or we might not. You never know.
The 10th pick, on what you think he's going to do. Yeah. Well, I don't know what he's going to do. Really, I don't think anybody knows how he's going to do.
All right. Now, yesterday, when I left here, because the Sixers game was on at 1:00, I went down to Lavari Seafood Bar and Grill, and I had myself a nice cheesesteak. I sat there with Dave, watched the first half of the game, and it was great. They got a lot of big screen TVs in there. And then on the way home, I went over to see my mom, 102-year-old mother that's in the Ocean City Methodist. I stopped by yesterday's on the way in and watched the second half.
Nice.
And that was great because, you really got into the Sixers pulled, they were behind in the first half. And then, of course, the
better team wins.
Yeah, the better team won. So we got all that. Also, what we're going to do today when we go on the mound with Tommy Greene, we're going to open up the text line. If you want to ask Tommy Greene a question, 609-403-0973. You have a question for Tommy Greene today? We'll open up the text board at 609-403-0973 if you want to ask Tommy Greene a question concerning the Philadelphia Phillies. Max Scherzer gets ejected from a game with suspected substance. He's claiming that it was just water and the rosin together made a sticky substance.
You believe him? I actually think he's good enough that he doesn't need to play games.
I know.
I believe him.
I don't think he would. That's what I mean. I don't think he would do that.
Well, the thing was, he went into the locker room, washed his hands with alcohol and water and soap and the whole nine. came back out, reapplied rosin, got some sweat on his hands, and he said it's still too sticky.
Right.
He said he literally did it in front of an MLB official. So I don't know
And
how.
so he's trying to get the stickiness off because
Yeah.
have you ever held a? I mean, I've had pine tar. That you could even if you grab a pine tar rosin thing
Mhm.
and you put a ball, you wouldn't even be able to throw the ball. It sticks to your hand.
I mean, how stupid would you have to be to go wash your hands after the official tells you to and watches you do it, and then to come back out with more sticky stuff on your hands as if he's not going to check you again? He knew he was going to check him
That's
again.
what I mean, I think it's just one of those things that they'll figure it out. I don't think he did anything on purpose at all.
And last but not least, here in this first block, I'd be remiss to say what a hockey game, man. I know you're not a hockey guy, but what a hockey game last night between Tampa Bay and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Overtime win, very exciting. You know, NHL hockey, playoff hockey is unbelievable.
It is.
I know you're not a hockey
but
guy.
I do watch the finals.
And I was saying yesterday to Josh, it's like there's so many games on. Like I've been really interested in the Cleveland Knicks game.
Mm-hmm.
And no offense, Mike. I know your son works for the Cavaliers, and you always sport their swag. But I find myself rooting for the Knicks
with
because,
Villanova.
Yeah, because of the Nova connection.
Hey, listen, the Knicks are playing good.
I even said it on the show yesterday. I don't want to get.
Yeah, it's okay. You say anything you want.
Yeah, no,
Billy, it's your show.
Right.
Look, for today, he's got a Sixers hat on, so you're not offending him.
By the way, we're streaming live on my YouTube channel. Go to my website, The Locker Room Billy Schwein, and then you can check us out there. You can see us on YouTube, The Locker Room Billy Schwein. But no, so there's so many games on.
It's a great time of the year.
It is. It's hard to focus on. Like I've been actually watching more basketball. Believe it or not, I'm a hockey guy, but the basketball's
This
been
is the
very
time of
good.
year.
Yeah.
But
NHL hockey, I know, Mike, you're not a hockey guy, but NHL hockey's been unbelievable.
the one thing by not being
The
a
Rangers
hockey guy,
and the Carolina Hurricanes.
yeah, but see, like when you mention those teams to me, they all seem to be teams that should be good. Like I don't understand how every year, not being a hockey
Toronto hasn't won a Stanley Cup since
but
1967.
how is Tampa always seems to be in the end?
Yep.
They're right there in the middle of it.
Because
Final Four, Final
over
Eight,
the last
year after year
well,
after
over
year.
the last 10 years, maybe they've been
And that's
they've been one of the best teams in hockey.
Lost to
It's
the Avalanche
amazing.
last year in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
So
that just amazes me.
Stamkos and they've got a good crew down there. But I've been pulling for I'm pulling for Toronto because they haven't won a cup since '67.
Man, that's a long time.
That's
for
a
them.
long time.
Yeah.
Flyers
And
aren't in it. You might as well pull for somebody.
That's hockey town, man.
Yeah. Oh, I remember
I know
growing up.
Detroit's hockey town, USA, but Toronto's hockey.
You remember when you were like 10 or 12 years old?
Boy,
All you heard about was Montreal
right
and Toronto.
Yeah.
It was always one or the other. Every year it's gone. But that's a long time.
So
for
let's
Toronto.
pull for the Leafs, eh? We got a big show lined up. Of course, we have Tommy Greene on the Mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by the John R. Elliott Hero Campaign for Designated Drivers. Hour 2, we're going to be joined with longtime NFL assistant, and he's been a defensive coordinator, Paul Guenther. I can't wait for that.
That's going to be a lot of fun. The listeners are going to hear a lot of in-depth stuff that maybe just not used to hearing. Behind the scenes things.
Mike, real quick, to preview the Eagles talk we're going to have with the 10th pick. We talked about it last week. Bijan's there at 10. Jalen Carter's off the board. We talked about best talent available at that pick. Just to preview and foreshadow for our viewers a little bit later on in the show, what do you think about that?
I'm a firm believer. We've talked about this, and people were saying, Mike, how he's never going to take a running back at number 10. So, but I think there's certain situations where you have to change your philosophy.
Yeah.
This is the year. If you're all in this year or next year, I don't care about the guy in 3 years from now and not paying him and the contracts on. We can get him. He's that good, which everybody says he is. I've seen him.
I mean, I watched him play twice.
You talk about being dangerous. Now we're going to have a defensive quarterback next to us.
I saw him play against your team, Alabama.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Now is Hurts running? Is the running back running? Is Robinson running? Are we throwing? How do you see
Dallas Goedert, the tight end?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of weapons.
So that's the kind of stuff that we'll pick Paul's brain.
I personally want to bolster the defense because we lost more people on defense.
That's why if Carter's there, I'm taking him.
Yeah.
Oh, how's this?
Would you trade up for him?
That's my next thing. Like if Carter's there at 7 or 8, do you say I want to move up? You can have my 10th, and I'll give you my 30th, whatever. Grab that guy.
By the way, guys, real quick, there are 4 teams that have 2 picks in the first round.
Wow.
This year.
Look at your notes, Billy. Come on.
Come on, man.
You're coming prepared.
He did his
Proper
homework.
preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Listen, before we go to break, I just wanted to give my opinion real quick. It'd be one thing if Bijan was this power back who, made majority of his success on the run, just powering through the defensive line. But he is a great pass catching back. He can block. He doesn't fumble. He extends plays. His yards after contact are unbelievable. So I just want to throw that out there. You would take a Super Bowl team and just have a chance to win a championship.
He's pushing for the running back. Look at this.
Come on.
I would
Look at
too.
this young buck.
Yeah, I want Carter or the running back or drop down.
Might not need him, though, because Derrick Henry's been heating up to the Eagles in the past few days. So I don't know.
All right, the first hour of the locker room was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection, professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, with the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call at 609-399-1227, 609-399-1227. Folks, I'm here to tell you about Lavari Seafood Bar and Grill, located on Route 50 and Tuckahoe Road in Petersburg, just 8 minutes over Ocean City's 34th Street Bridge. I went there yesterday to watch the games. I sat there with Dave. The food's great. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Renee and Tim are the bartenders down. There was a good little crew down there. It's an old school bar. It's got 18 big screen TVs, daily specials. They're open every day at 11 a.m., celebrating 15 years in business. Thursday night is wing night, $1 wings, $2.50 domestic draft. Live music every Friday night. Give Dave Lavari a call if you want to book a party at 609-628-2225. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more here in the locker with Billy Schwein and Mike Carlin on 97.3 ESPN.
It's the 2023 NFL Draft, exclusively on 97.3 ESPN. The Philadelphia Eagles have 2 picks in the first round in this year's NFL Draft, and you can listen to see how it all plays out. Round 1 coverage begins this Thursday at 7 p.m. It's the 2023 NFL Draft, and it's only on South Jersey's exclusive radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN.
Ocean City's real estate market is red hot. You need an agent that has the knowledge and expertise to help. Contact Ocean City's top agent, Mark Grimes. Mark has been selling real estate for 30 years in South Jersey. He can answer all your real estate questions and find you the perfect property. He's available anytime on his cell at 609-425-2042. When Philadelphia star athletes are looking for a house at the beach, they contact Mark Grimes, specializing in buying and selling vacation homes, single-family homes, condominiums, and duplexes, residential and commercial, as well as new construction projects or investment opportunities. Mark Grimes, he's your agent at the beach. Give him a call right now, 609-425-2042, or check out his website at grimes.com.
Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, the pizza you're gonna love. It's got the freshest taste that you'll find any place. Randazzo's Pizza, there's one right nearby. Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza. It's a pizza like you've never had before. Eat it or take it home, no matter where you roam. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Why would you call anyone else besides Randazzo's Pizzeria and Family Restaurant, 34th and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Open year-round, 7 days a week, offering free delivery on the whole island and to the beach. Pizza, pasta, salads, entrees, subs, paninis, and wraps. Voted best of the shore. Call 814-1600. 814-1600.
Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Servicing Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson and Sons for electrical, they're number one.
Every piece of land has a story. The Upshaw's right there is with a John Deere 1 Series tractor they call Penny.
When your project comes up, you have to just jump in and figure out what is it going to take.
From front loader to backhoe, The Upshaws have the tools to DIY all day long. Run with us on a 1 Series tractor and start telling your story. Get a 1 Series tractor starting at $134 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd rather
counts.
not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schwein, Mike Carlin. The producer today is Danny Ryan. Of course, our intern, Andrew Leeds, man. What is he up at? He's up at the Eagles today. He's
Training day for the big boy.
You were what? You're like, he's an usher.
Yeah, it's good. Ticket services,
You did
usher,
that
stuff
last
like
year,
that.
right?
Yeah. They kind of split it up, so you have a choice to do like 50-50 raffles, ushering, ticket service. It's a good gig, free ticket.
You know
Yeah,
what
right.
it is? You know what's the best part about it?
What's that?
You're in the door.
You're in the door.
You're in the-
Exactly.
and now you start making contacts and you start doing you see a piece of trash, you pick it up.
Right.
Yeah, you
When
network.
when you think people aren't watching
They're
you,
watching.
when you do the little things like that, you can just get in the door, I tell people.
Let's talk a little Sixers basketball. Who were you most impressed with yesterday, Carlin?
It had to be Harris for me. It had to be
Okay,
Harris.
so will he be able to carry on? I mean, he gets to the Boston Celtics.
It's a whole different ball game. It's
but
whole
we're
different
gonna
guys
need-
guarding you. The schemes are different. Let's not. I don't want an NBA team is still an NBA team. Don't get me wrong.
Right,
But the Nets are a bad team.
right.
The Nets should not have been in the
They backed
playoffs.
into that.
Yeah, they backed in. So
Yeah, but they finished higher than Miami.
Only because of Katie and
Yeah.
Kyrie, though. Miami had an off year.
Miami's better.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Out of the teams that are in the playoffs, and you take the top four, and you take Atlanta and Miami and the Knicks and the Nets are by far the worst of those four teams.
I thought the Anthony Melton hit some big
Played
shots.
great.
He scored 15 points last night, but he hit some big shots.
Oh,
They're like
man.
Timing
you know those
shots.
time
Yeah.
shots that quiet the crowd.
Yeah.
Like just when a team's making a
Yeah.
run, boom, he
Yeah.
put a stop to it with a big
You know,
three.
you're up by 12, and they bring it down to 6, and boom, now you're back up to 9.
Right.
They're killers.
I thought it was good that they came from behind, but then again, it's like, should we be excited about that? It's a
No,
Brooklyn.
they knew they were
Nets.
going to win that game.
You know what I mean?
I'm not impressed. I mean,
The
I
line
took-
was 1.5 yesterday. Sixers were
Oh.
given 1.5 yesterday.
That's pathetic. I mean, no Embiid, I get it. I told you off the air, though, I do not expect Tobias Harris to keep this production up
No.
in the second series. If he does, man, am I a happy camper. But he's not going to. He never does. When it matters most, he gets you like 12 on terrible efficiency. It's just who he is.
Let's talk about Joel Embiid, man, because he had an MRI, and they're saying that it could be a lot worse than they thought of originally. He's Doc Rivers. We have a clip.
Mhm.
We're going to play it,
50-50.
but listen to what he said, and we'll analyze it. Stop it right there, because he sounds befuddled, man. He don't sound too good. Did that sound convincing to you, Carlin?
No, but again, you can't play all your cards. You don't want to be a little.
I know,
Like
but he
he
was
is
like,
coming
he
back
was
now.
finding words to say. Like he kind of looked like he was tongue
No,
tied.
but he did send a little shot to the other team by saying, "Hey, if you want to double up and leave our shooters wide open, go ahead. We'll play that game."
Yeah, but we all know we're not going to win without Joel
No.
Embiid.
Series over.
He sounds puzzled, man.
He sounds puzzled.
He didn't know how to answer that.
So let's continue.
Buffering here.
All
Oh,
right.
man.
So
The
that's
Wi-Fi.
But that's fine. I'm concerned if he's not playing, we're in trouble.
Season's over, Billy. I mean, it's that quick. You're not going to. Could Maxey be a unbelievable player for one game, and Harden and Harris?
They could probably sneak 2 out of.
That's what I'm saying. Where you steal 1 and maybe a 2, but you're not winning the series. We're in this to win a series. Okay, without him, you're not winning that series. I don't care what anybody says.
And listen, Milwaukee and Miami teams are both banged up. I mean, Miami's a really good team, but without Oladipo and we don't know.
Oladipo came off the bench.
I know,
I don't
but
worry
Butler.
that much.
Well, how about Hero?
Okay, but we
He's
have
one of their big threes.
Yeah, but they have a stand-in for Hero that comes off the bench. It's really you could start one or the other.
By the way, injury update on Jimmy Butler. It was ruled a bruised glute. He had a chance to come back to the Heat Bucks game last night, but decided not to. Finish with 30 points, but it's not going to be serious for him.
Seems like this time of year, Mike, everybody's banged up. It's not exclusive to just this to the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat.
But unfortunately for us, everybody's hurt. But who? The team we got to play next,
yeah, right?
Boston.
Oh,
well,
man.
They still have to get through Atlanta.
Right. And thank God Atlanta won.
Yeah, they're going through Atlanta like General Sherman.
By Atlanta winning the other night, it just extended a week for Embiid to rest for another week. Just by Atlanta winning that one game. Because now they got to win 2. So even if they sweep them today and on Tuesday, the series don't start till Friday or Saturday next week. So
there is some time to rest up.
And if he's coming back.
But like you said last week, Mike, we say it all the time. My 7-year-old daughter says it.
The human mop.
The human mop. I mean, the guy's on the floor all the time. You said it last week.
Yeah. I say, guys, this is a 2-month series now. You got to stay healthy for 2 months.
All right, let's play.
Already the first week, he's hurt.
We have Doc.
No, we can finish the doc real quick, but I wanted to shout out Dan from EHT, one of our loyal listeners, to that point, too, about him being a human mop. He says, if Joe comes back, he won't be 100%. His body is so fragile, he can't handle playoff basketball, which is much more physical than the regular season. His history says so, obviously, with 6 of his 7 playoff berths being injured. Come on.
That's a true statement. I mean, it's not like he's saying anything that's inaccurate.
This is not new news to us. We've known about this.
Did you feel, even though they won yesterday, Brooklyn, there was like a lot of trepidation. Like you didn't get the reaction from.
I think it's all business. They're good enough they knew they were going to get out of the series.
Right,
they were not worried. So now it's just in the back of their mind. They're thinking, "Oh man, now we're going to probably have Boston next, and we got our MVP is hurt, and we don't know when he's coming back."
All right, 609-403-0973 is the text board. At the bottom of the hour here in about 5 minutes, we're going to go on the mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by the John R. Hero Elliott campaign for designated drivers. If you want to ask Tommy Greene a question, send us a text message at 609-403-0973. If you want to ask Tommy Greene a question, 609-403-0973 is the text board. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call at 609-399-1227. That's 609-399-1227. There's a new wind blowing at Maserati, the main line. The all-new Maserati Gregale midsize SUV has officially arrived. Stop by Maserati, the main line, located in Devon, PA, just minutes away from Center City, Philadelphia, to experience it for yourself. With class-leading space, advanced driving, and technology features, the Gregale makes every journey thrilling experience. From your daily commute to weekend road trips, the Maserati Gregale elevates every moment into something truly special. Test drive the all-new Gregale for yourself and experience how it makes every day exceptional. Visit them online at motml.com or give them a call at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800. Ask for Michael Pileggi to schedule your test drive today. When we return, we'll go on the mound with Tommy Greene. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Mike Carlin right here on 97.3 ESPN.
This week on Sunday Night Baseball.
Deep left field, Pete Alonso goes yard into the bullpen.
The New York Mets finish up the last leg of a 7-game West Coast road trip. when they go head-to-head with Brandon Crawford and the San Francisco Giants.
And it's gone. Brandon Crawford, a home run.
The New York Mets at the San Francisco Giants. Coverage begins today at 6 Eastern.
This is the play-by-play home of Sunday Night Baseball, exclusively on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Train presents The Unstoppables. Those captains of comfort, those gargantuans of the guarantee, those satisfaction savants who persevere perilously beyond probability as the raconteurs of reliability. Here's to Train's heralded heroes of heating and air conditioning, those comfort kings with a tireless tenacity for total turnaround. The Train Comfort Specialists. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, this is Joe Lenigan, owner of Lenigan Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call us today for your free Train system quote at 609-399-1200 or online at ocnjplumber.com. And please don't forget to ask for a military and senior discount.
Calling again, again and again. Calling again, again and again.
Every year, hundreds of children suffer from unintentional injuries or death due to unsecured guns. Camden County and Moms Demand Action South Jersey are asking for your help to reduce gun violence by spreading the Be Smart message.
Store guns unloaded, locked, and separate from ammunition. And talk to other parents about secure gun storage.
It's up to us to prevent these tragedies and save lives. Visit CamdenCounty.com/Be Smart to learn how we can stop gun accidents and deaths together.
Whoever just hit those brakes hard for no reason was definitely not you. Eric never brakes randomly on the highway, Rubino, because you are a safe driver. And like most drivers who sign up for Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate for how and how much you drive, you could earn a discount for your good driving. So keep on being you. Eric never brakes randomly on the highway, Rubino, and we'll keep on delivering the discounts. Sign up for Snapshot today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Right now, spring is at the Home Depot, and it's time to get growing. Whether you're planting vegetables or herbs, or just sprucing up your indoor space with lush 6-inch Vigoro Tropicals, we have what you need to get your season started. Visit your local Home Depot garden center today and shop our easy-to-grow, bigger, bolder tropicals like peace lilies, dracaena, or ficus plants. Do your spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Product varies by store.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the free 97.3 ESPN mobile app.
All right, we're back here, broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio in Northfield. Locker Room, Billy Schwein, Mike Carlin. Now, Mike, every Sunday during the baseball season, we go on the mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by the John R. Elliott Hero Campaign for Designated Drivers, a longtime partner of the Philadelphia Phillies, reminding you not to drink and drive and to always have a designated driver. Designated hitters win games. Designated drivers save lives. Take the Hero Pledge today at herocampaign.org and remember to be a hero. Be a designated driver. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome in former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene. Good morning, T. Greene.
Good morning, Billy. How you doing, pal?
All right, listen, I'm happy that we got a big Sixers win yesterday, and a big Phillies win yesterday late afternoon. But Tommy Greene, I guess the biggest news, the biggest surprise is how well our bullpen's pitching.
How about that? You know, everything's kind of everything ebbs and flows a little bit. We can't panic too early. We talked about that last week a little bit. Don't panic too bad. They'll kind of get on a run a little bit and do some things. Sad to see Bellotti having to go on the shelf a little bit, because he was that first couple of weeks he was the man taking the ball every night for them. They got which is you hate to see somebody go down with injury. He was starting to struggle a little bit. So I can see that. But hey, it's great to see those guys reverse the trend with win and loss record. Last week going 2-5, and this week going 5-2. Pretty good thing. We need to do more of that.
We're talking with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene, as we do every Sunday throughout the baseball season. On the Mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by the John R. Elliott Hero Campaign for Designated Drivers. Tommy, before we get into our Phillies talk, Matt Scherzer had a little incident with some rosin, and what do you make of all this? I mean, you're former pitcher, so you might want to tell us the tricks of the trade, or if you think he's really guilty of what he's accused of.
Well, I didn't read in depth with it. I know some people have the theory, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying type thing. But I know for myself, I never used any stuff like that. And I wanted to know what the ball was doing myself. I'd get a scuff back sometimes, from a ball put in play, because they throw everything out now. If it hits the dirt, they throw it out, And I remember back in the day, they were conserving balls. I'd get a ball with a scuff on it, and I was like, I'd throw it back to the catcher because I wanted the ball. I wanted to know where it was going because I didn't know how to use it, And if you don't know how to use it, so I just kept it simple with me.
So Tommy, let me ask you this question. So if you get a scuff ball, you'd rather have? I thought scuff balls are probably easier.
Dirty them up, yeah.
Easier to control, or you could. I mean, you're telling me you like a completely clean baseball?
No, I don't like a completely clean ball. I like, when they rub up the balls with the type of mud they got now, especially in the big leagues. I like for the ball to be a little darker. It's got to be rubbed up so it's not slick. It's like throwing a cue ball. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you start to get like that, you start losing command of it too a little bit. But I mean, there's different things. Some guys like it stick. I know Terry Mulholland back in the day. We used to call it. It was like him. He wouldn't use any seams. His fingers would be like with the seams, but around where his fingertips and stuff were like in the horseshoe of the ball. Wasn't on any seams or anything. We used to call it a dry spitter. He liked it slicker. He liked it slick. That ball kind of squirted out a little bit and tended to sink, but sometimes it's hard to command. It's just like anything. You won't command sometimes, and then other times you're trying to throw a breaking ball for a strike. You're trying to make it appear to be a strike and bounce it in the dirt. It's got a late hard break. You got to make the hitter decide, okay, do I need to swing at this or not? Type thing. So
609-403-0973 is the text board. If you want to send Tommy a question, 609-403-0973. We'll see if we get the peeps involved, and they have a question for you, a couple questions for you, Tommy. But Tommy, the Phillies are notoriously famous for slow starts. They're 12-10 now. They Colorado
10-12 or 12-10?
10-12. What did I say?
10-12.
They're 10-12. And they'll beat up on Colorado, but you got to beat the teams you play.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, every game's. That's why you hear us say all the time as ex-athletes. Now me doing some radio, I'm on the other side of it. It's take it one day at a time. You're playing the team in front of you, and it's just like people talk about postseason, trying to get into postseason. Once you get there, anybody can be beat, man. In a short series, or or in a 5-game or 7-game series, anybody can get hot at that time and beat the guys they're not, so to speak, supposed to beat. So you treat every game, as its own entity, and you go out there and try to accomplish what you do well. That's what I used to do. When I pitched, is about when things start struggling a little bit. I used to take that step off the back of the mound and gather my thoughts. Now you can't do that as much because of the pitch clock. And I mean, you gather your thoughts and you reinforce the positives about what you're going to do this next pitch. So you have a better chance to succeed. You can't get too far ahead. You can't think too far ahead. You got to take care of what's in front of you, each pitch, each at bat, that type thing, for the guys. And that's what they do, and it's about, we're creatures of habit, and we're trying to do the same things over and over that we know we can do well, but still you get in funks and you have to try to figure it out again. And it's amazing how that gray matter gets in the way sometimes. So it's a lot of mental, it's a lot of physical stuff.
Tom, you're absolutely right. It's Michael. We were talking before the break about how, like, last year's start with the Phillies and now this year's start, and this time 2 weeks ago, we were like, oh boy, it could be a slow start again. But in the last 7 games, we're 5-2. We got Wheeler on the mound today. We can start picking up a little momentum with, we're going to have Seattle at home the next 3 games. They're 10-11. So it's not like they're lighting the fire.
Yeah, right.
We could pick up a game here, pick up a game here. And like Tommy said, during the season, you just want to get to the postseason. Anything can happen in the postseason. Right. And we showed that with the Phillies last year. You get hot, guys get hurt at the last second. You just want to get yourself into play to have a chance. And the Phillies are doing that right now.
Well, I mean, you're making good points there. I mean, we're talking about the right stuff in the way we're approaching it. We got to, hopefully as fans get on that bandwagon as far as thinking the right way. You're going to go through stretches during the course of the season where you kind of struggle a little bit, and then you're going to go through real good stretches where they might run, go 15-2, or something like that. You never know what's going to happen, But it's all about playing consistent baseball or doing the little things right, which they, sort of got in a bad habit early about, they were real aggressive on the bases and stuff, but they were making mistakes on the bases, which was costing them runs and chances to win. I mean, to me, a couple ball games maybe, So, I mean, it's about cutting out those things and playing smart baseball and playing good defense, And right now they're doing a pretty good job at that, as far as that's concerned, which it picks up your pitching staff if you're playing good defense and making, a play maybe you shouldn't have made, or something like that can save your bacon a little bit as a pitcher. And it's the same thing for the pitching staff. They got to get on the road where you pick up hitters. Some games you have to win 1-0, 2-1. You can't expect the hitters to go blast everything, which we got to line up to do it if they get hot, and it's about getting guys hot at the right time.
And they are starting to hit the ball.
We've had a very good start. We've had a good start to the season by the daycare. You can't ask any better. Now it's time for, I mean, but it's time for the big guys that, to kind of start inching back up. We're still in there. We're not even out of April yet. So
it's still early. 609-403-0973. Tommy, we're going to take some text messages, and people are going to ask you a question. Danny, you have a question for one of our listeners?
Yeah.
Tommy?
Hey, Tommy, we got a text from Dan in EHT. Says, how special would it be for the Phillies to win the World Series on the 30-year anniversary of the fan favorite 1993 team? He says, to this day, it's still my favorite team.
Oh, it would be. I tell you what, I'm a Philly. Even though I come up with the Braves organization, you got a special affiliation with, who brought you into baseball, stuff like that. But I'm a Philly guy, true and blue. This is where I made, my home, and I love, and they're the best fans in the world. So there's no better, to me, gift, to somebody like our team is for the Phillies to win a World Series in the year that, sort of commemorated what we did back 30 years ago. That would be outstanding.
Tommy, I have a question myself as well. Today marks 5 months to the day since Bryce Harper got Tommy John surgery. He's been playing catch. Yeah. He's been playing first base a lot in the past few days with an arm brace, and they're expecting him back in early May. I mean, how remarkable, first off, would that recovery be? But how important is it to get the bats hot at the right time for, Bryce's return?
Okay. I mean, it's going to be a pickup thing. You can't expect it to come back and it'd be like the savior just walks out there on the field and things don't happen. It could, the guy can flat out hit. Bottom line, if he can, he's been hitting and showing he could do that, but what are the other things he's got to do to get cleared from? He's got to make, I know for me as an ex-player and a guy, if I was playing on that team, I'd want that guy when he walks on the field to have no limitations. As far as if he's batting and just DHing, he's got to be able to slide, and he's got to get clearance for that arm to be healthy. As far as him, whatever way he slides and whatever, for him to not to do anything to possibly have to go back and and go right back on the IL.
Yeah,
and possibly even worse. I mean, I don't want to even think about that stuff. They got to make sure. I mean, that's just me. Everybody's getting all up in arms. Hey, there's a process he's got to go through, and he's got to get cleared from it. Yeah, it's all right to have high hopes. I get that, but hey, let's just take it day by day. Let's clear each hurdle, and once he comes back, obviously you see he's going to be an added benefit to that lineup, and some guys are going to get some pitches because he's in that lineup. Yeah. So.
All right, the starting lineup came out for today. Stott's going to lead off, play second base. Trey Turner, shortstop, batting second. Stott batting 344. Turner 295. Schwarber, while he's only hitting, he'll be hitting third, and he's hitting 205. He hits timely home runs. Castellanos is on fire, batting 310. He knocked out his first 2 home runs yesterday. Brandon Marsh, 359. So, I mean, offensively, then you got Romuto batting 6th, Baum batting 7th. He's the DH today. He's hitting 305. Clemens, and then Sosa. And Sosa, he seems like he's Mr. Clutch, doesn't he?
Yeah, and we're doing all this with our 2 best players.
We're doing this with our 2 best players that are out.
Yeah. So I mean, guys are getting a chance to play, and that's what you that's what you got to have. You got to have guys that step up, you know, and that's what we've had. I men, your MVP so far, to me, you know, you got a couple guys in the daycare that's kind of been there day in and day out for them, which is, you know, with Marsh and Stott, you know, they've been pretty consistent. You know, Stott bounced from the bottom of the lineup, to the top of the lineup, giving you great at bats at the top and doing some things, and you know, to hit 350, you're right at it, you know, and then Marsh right above him. I mean, that turns the lineup to give to the perspective. You know, if they can keep doing that, given, you know, when Turner gets hot a little bit, now Castellanos is starting, and then you know how Schwarber can go. He can carry you for like 5 or 6 days if he starts hitting, you know, centering it up a little bit and get hot.
We need to get him in June
ASAP. We have Wheeler on the mound today. Zach Wheeler, he's 1-1 with an ERA of 4.79. Tommy, yesterday's game was completed in 2 hours and 26 minutes. So these games are going fast. The clock is working. What do you want to see out of Wheeler today?
Well, I mean, I just want him. I mean, he hasn't been exactly, I don't think, where he wants to be. You know, sometimes, I mean, that's the way it goes sometimes. Maybe your command's not quite where you want to be, but he's trending in the right direction. The way he's pitching, he's just got to do what he does. You know, he pounds the zone, but he's got you got to. You know, it's not that you're not trying to miss bats, but you're wanting the miss in the right areas, not missing over the plate. You're missing in quality areas that takes some of the sting out of the bat sometimes. Not, you know, we got to have it a little bit, and we're playing in a ballpark that it jumps out of a little bit, and you can get hurt if a ball gets out over the plate a little bit too much. You know, it gets on the plate and more in the fat of the plate more. You can get hurt pretty quick and give up. That's what's happened a couple first innings to, you know, in the past few games. You know, we've given up some home runs, and, you know, not just solo. It's been 2 or 3 run homers, you know, and that's, you know, when you're behind the 8 ball like that from the start, it's a tough thing to come back from, but they've showed that they can do some things like that. So it's a great quality with his team. So we need him just to give us a chance to do things, because some of the guys are waking up and starting to swing the bat good. Now, you never know. We might break out and start scoring 7-8 runs a game, and that would be a beautiful thing.
Yes, it would. All right, Tommy, today's a 12:05 start, I believe, and it's on Peacock. So you got to go looking around. But we, as always, we appreciate having you on every Sunday throughout the baseball season on the mound with Tommy Greene. Tommy, we really appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. It's great to be along. Y'all have a wonderful Sunday afternoon.
You too. There
Take
he
care,
is.
Tom.
Tommy Greene on the Maserati, the main line on the mound with Tommy Greene is brought to you by the John R. Elliott Hero Campaign for Designated Drivers. A longtime partner of the Philadelphia Phillies, reminding you not to drink and drive and to always have a designated driver. Designated hitters win games. Designated drivers save lives. Take the Hero Pledge today at herocampaign.org. And remember, to be a hero, be a designated driver. Hey, the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 50 office locations in Jersey, PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call at 609-399-1227. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that's run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up hour number 1. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein and Mike Carlin right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Today on ESPN Radio. Down 2-0 and without Draymond Green, the Warriors win a critical Game 3 at home.
For 3 on its way and in for Steph.
Can they tie the series up at 2 games each? Or will it be the Kings who respond?
They're the NBA champions. This is what the playoffs are about.
Listen to the NBA playoffs exclusively on 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's official home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson and Sons for electrical, they're number 1.
Hi, this is ex-Philadelphia Eagles tight end Ken Dunnick, and I'm the current publisher of Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, and I'm asking you to become a Camden County police officer and help make our city a better place to live. The Camden County Police Department is now hiring for sworn officers who are going to make a difference in our community. The first year's salary for the position is $51,000. So join the effort today to be part of something bigger than yourself. Visit CamdenCountyPD.org to apply online. That's CamdenCountyPD.org. Thank you.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Give your small business one tech solution that checks all the boxes. It's all here with the Comcast Business Complete Connectivity Solution. It's cyber threat security for peace of mind. Check. The power of the largest, fastest, reliable network for small business. That's a triple box check right there. And save up to 75% a year on your wireless bill with Comcast Business Mobile. Check and cha-ching. It's everything you need to keep your business connected. From the company powered by the next generation 10G network, the complete connectivity solution. Get started for just $49 a month for 12 months when you add mobile, and ask about an $800 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 5/21/23. Restrictions apply. Requires 2-year agreement, EcoBill, and autopay. New 100 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Compares weighted average of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data. Savings vary.
Shop Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot to get your kitchen clicking. With top brand appliances from Frigidaire, like a new refrigerator with sealed crisper drawers to keep your produce fresher longer. Or a dishwasher with its unique blade spray arm for better water coverage that reaches every corner. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away, too. Save up to $500 on select Frigidaire kitchen appliances during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot.
Now, more of The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
We're back here broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schwein, Mike Carlin. We've been telling you about 2 charity events that are coming up soon. Brian Probst Fall Golf Classic benefit at the Stroke Center at the University of Pennsylvania on May 15th at the Riverwinds Golf and Tennis Club. For more details, visit golf.com. And then on Saturday, June 17th, you can attend Tara's Happy Boxes fundraiser benefiting local children at the American Legion, 1st Street, Summers Point, New Jersey, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tickets are $25, include entry, food, and entertainment. For more information, contact Tara Scioli at 609-415-8398 or send her an email, tarashappyboxes@gmail.com. Carlin, we'll wrap up our Phillies segment, but last year, I remember, late June? And when I kept saying it's, or no, even like middle May, I said, hey, it's getting,
you were panicking.
Yeah, I was like, well, yeah. I mean, we were saying it's getting late early. and you were like the voice of reason. It seems like you're taking your cues from Tommy Greene. Relax, but I mean, 2008, 2009, in April, the team was under 500. I believe 500, under 500. They went to the World Series.
In my mind, spring training is not January and February no more. Spring training's January, February, March. You start the season April, and by May you start feeling out who's really in shape to play.
So as long as
lineup,
you're close, as long as you're close to 500 in April and May,
yeah,
and
fine.
Staying with the pack,
fine. And especially this year with our two big guns hurt. I mean, what did you expect? I mean, we're not going to.
Well, actually, I expect
Atlanta
it to be
is
a little bit worse than where we are right now.
Right.
I think we're in pretty good shape.
I think we're in great shape with what we have because pitching, and we got hitting that we're getting hitting from guys that we weren't expecting to, like Tommy said, late down in the 7-hitter, 8-hitter, and that we didn't expect this.
So you wanted to ask your son's here with us today.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do this because I think this is a pretty cool thing. And we're going to be talking in the second hour. We're going to be joined by longtime NFL assistant coach. He's been a defensive coordinator in the league. Paul Guenther's here, but
for a full hour,
we're going to get to pick his brain. And I'm going to ask you about the new NFL, the lack of hard hitting in the preseason, and we'll get into all that. But your question, I think, was pretty cool.
I'm lucky to have Cole home for the weekend, and we got this thing going that with the national media, Philly this, Philly that.
Right,
we're now with Cole living went to Vanderbilt. That's where my SEC came in.
By the way, you changed your father. Now he's a big SEC guy.
Yeah.
He was a Big Ten guy, but now he's an SEC guy.
He's still a Penn State guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, but I wanted to ask him, now that you're living in Cincinnati, do you see the media being
what's the perception
Philly?
of the
like
Philadelphia
you see
fans?
how crazy it is for Eagles here? What's it like in Cincinnati for the Bengals and stuff like that?
Well, they know you guys. Philadelphia fans.
They probably know us to throwing batteries at DJ Drew or whatever his name was, or snowballs at Santa. Philadelphia, we have a bad reputation, but it's not warranted, I don't believe.
It's a passionate reputation. You know, you guys is passionate. Man, I got to give it to Cincinnati, though. The Bengals, especially the past couple of years, Bengals fans are intense, as are the Reds fans. With opening day.
Oh, I saw
that. Very special time in Cincinnati.
That was crazy.
That parade is incredible. You got to experience that. That being said, they do not grease the poles in Cincinnati. So I wouldn't worry. Philly fans are on a whole nother level, and it's known, and I think that's appropriate.
And you know what's cool too, because when we get to talk to Paul, we're gonna find out like so much was made of players coming into the Citizens Bank Park for the World Series because of the intensity of the fan base, how loud we were, and even for the Eagles in that Super Bowl run, the two home playoff games. How hard is it to play in Philadelphia?
Well, and the best part now is we're starting to attract other players.
Yeah.
Remember, there was a time no one wanted to come to Philly.
You're
now
saying
you
said it's a destination city now?
Hey, what did that opposing manager say when he came to play the Phillies in the bank? 4 hours of hell?
Yeah. Right.
That's what it's like. Come on.
Hour number 1 is in the book. Hour 2, we're gonna delve into the NFL draft. We have longtime assistant coach in the NFL, Paul Guenther here. We'll break down the draft. It's coming up Thursday. Of course, we're going to be at a draft party. We're going to have a lot of fun there, and we're going to delve into the Eagles. See what who's going to go where.
It's going to be exciting.
All that and more. It's the Locker Room with Billy Schwein, Mike Carlin, the producer. Danny Ryan is with us here in the Locker Room on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN.
Here's what you missed on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Jalen Hurts, the deal is done with the Eagles. 5-year, $255 million extension.
I think it's a great deal. I think it's a wonderful deal. I think whenever you can make $60 million of real money in the first 3 years of a deal, of real money, that's the real money. It's $60 million a year.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings at 6 on 97.3 ESPN.
This world has its limits, but in the all-new, all-electric Nissan Ariya, you've got a world of possibilities. You can leave it all behind in serene interiors, or you can go after it with available e-Force all-wheel drive. Go your way in the all-new, all-electric Nissan Ariya. Nissan Ariya with e-Force not yet available for purchase. Expected availability early 2023. Subject to change. e-Force all-wheel drive is an optional feature. e-Force cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. I hate the struggle of tough, greasy messes on my stovetop. So I just wipe, and I'm done.
When I'm frustrated with stubborn bathtub soap scum, I just wipe, and I'm done.
Mr. Clean Clean Freak delivers an innovative cleaning experience with a powerful deep cleaning mist that starts working on contact to break down tough messes in seconds.
Just
wipe,
done.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text PLACE to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text PLACE to 200-300 right now. Text the word PLACE to 200-300. Don't wait, text PLACE to 200-300.
The original was big, but the sequel is even bigger. Introducing the bigger spin scratch-offs from the New Jersey Lottery. Scratch your way to instant cash prizes now up to $300,000. Or a chance to spin the big prize wheel live in person for an even bigger guaranteed prize up to $400,000. Better give it a colossal spin. Try the bigger spin scratch-offs today. Now playing across Jersey. Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
South Jersey's play-by-play home for the Eagles,
Touchdown!
Sixers, and Flyers.
Oh, big save by Carter Hart.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station.
Red 83.
Welcome to the locker room.
Vince Papali, welcome to the locker room.
I can smell it already, Billy. What's happening, buddy?
Ron Hayes, welcome to the locker room with Billy Schwein.
Yeah, hey, Billy, how you doing out there?
Rich Gannon, welcome to the locker room, Rich.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be with you.
Great Bob McElwee, NFL referee.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Craig Berube. Craig, welcome to the locker room.
All right, thanks, Billy.
We have the real Pat Croce in the locker room.
Put me off the bench, Coach.
And now here's your host, Billy Schwein.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schwein, Mike Carlin, the producer, Danny Ryan, on a Sunday morning after the Sixers eliminate the Nets. Phillies take 2, the first 2 from the Rockies. We get all caught up to that. Some basketball today because we got the Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks today. And we'll watch that game. The Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Carlin's watching that game.
We need Cleveland to win today. We need Cleveland. You can't go down.
For the Knicks, though.
Can't be 3-1 down.
Right. So with all that's going on in the world of sports in our area, we have the NFL draft coming up, and we really haven't had a lot of time to talk about it in depth because
the Sixers have taken over.
Has taken over. The Phillies open up their seasons. A lot of stuff going on, but now it's time to get serious because the draft is Thursday night, and you got a very special guest. Who do we have, Mike Carlin?
We have Paul Guenther and a good friend, but more importantly, just a great person and the person that you want to talk to about football that's going on right now. Knows the ins and outs.
Paul, you got a great resume.
Yeah.
First of all, welcome into the locker room.
Appreciate it. Good being here.
Yeah, man. Looking at your resume, you've been an assistant coach, a defensive coordinator, so you've done a lot in the NFL. What's the hardest part about being a coach in the NFL?
I just think, moving with the times, moving the cheese, with the X's and O's,
Right.
and obviously and staying on top of the talent through the draft. It's draft season now. And then obviously after the draft's over, the players will come back in and they're lifting weights. Then you start going through OTAs.
How much time do you spend watching film? Like, I guess as soon as the Super Bowl is over, but how much time do defensive coordinators, assistant coaches spend watching film of college players?
Quite a bit. I mean, you have to, you really, when the combine comes in February, that's really your introduction as coaches to the guys coming into the draft. And the scouts have already done a lot of the work. So they'll really, you start studying a lot of guys right before the combine, and then a lot after that. And then the whole month of March, you're really traveling around, going to the pro days, working guys out on their campuses, getting to know the guys a little bit more. And then obviously once April starts.
Let me interrupt here. Let me ask this question before I lose this trend of thought. During the season, how much do you get to pay attention to college? I mean, you're like spending tons of time as a coach doing your regular work. How much time do you get to watch college kids?
No, you watch it like a fan on TV on Saturday nights, really, when you're in a hotel or wherever you're at. But what I used to try to do is during the summer, I used to try to watch the guys that are coming up through the draft. So I was a little bit caught up after so I wasn't just starting fresh, say at the beginning of February.
We have Paul Guenther in the studio with us, Mike Carlin and I here in the locker room talking NFL draft. How collaborative is the draft? I mean, how much time do the offensive, defensive coordinators, the coaches, the GM, etc., how collaborative is it?
It's very, I mean, it really starts with the scouts, the area scouts. There's the area scouts, say in the Northeast, Southeast, Midwest, Far West, Southwest, and they're all really scouting all these guys throughout the country. And then they come back to the facility and we all put our write-ups together and compare and contrast notes. Every team has a different way to grade players. Some will have, like, let's just say you think he's the top of the first round guy. He would be a 1A, middle of the first would be a 1B, or end of the first, a 1C. Some teams have a number, like an 8-0 is a surefire player that you think is going to be an all-pro guy. So the grading systems vary throughout team to team. And really the efforts that the scouts and the coaches and the GM and the cross-checking scouts put together, you try to nail down a grade as best as possible that everyone can.
But how much, let's just talk about the Eagles. Nick Sirianni, it's his team. He's the head coach. Does he say this is the direction we want to go, or is that strictly Howie Roseman, the GM?
Typically it's the GM's call. I mean,
but he has to listen to you guys. I mean,
that was my question. Yeah. Like, does he sit you down in the offense corner and say, guys, we have one pick, top 10? Are we doing this on offense or D? Give us your pitch, give us your pitch kind of thing.
Okay, so what you would do is in April, say April 1st, everybody gets into a room, the scouts, the GM, the coaches, and they'll read their draft readings on a guy. Let's just say, hey, Mike, you're a linebacker from Illinois, all right? I gave you a second round grade and the scout gave you a fourth round grade. Well, if there's a disparity there, we got to really do our homework and see if you're maybe a third round guy or whatever.
So what do you got to lobby for him and
well, you just
say your case.
You just say this is where I see him, right. And there's going to be differences of opinion between the scouts and the coaches, but that's how when they say set the board, you're setting the board by how everyone agrees to that guy. And if everyone says, hey, he's a surefire first rounder, everyone agrees that's great. Or he's a surefire fifth rounder, everyone agrees that's great. But a lot of times you're going to have, I would say, let's say 20 guys in the draft. The coach may like this guy, give him a second round grade, and the scout gave him a sixth round grade. There may be 20 guys on the board that you have to say, hey, well, let's all sit down and watch this kid on tape and see what you see. Explain to me what you see. I'll explain to you what I see. And we come to
and then once that process is done, then you have to go into his background, right? What type of person he is, what kind of character does he have? I mean, there's a lot about this Jalen Carter coming out of Georgia.
Yeah.
They're worried about his off the field. He's a young kid. He's immature.
Mm-hmm.
But that weighs
the whole thing.
Right?
I mean, the background check, you find out from people on campus, whether it be the cafeteria people, the strength coach, whatever it may be, where you can find information on what kind of guy you're getting or you're looking at. And that all goes into the grade, character, the whole thing. So when you set your board, that board's set, And so when it comes to draft day, there isn't any real arguments really at the end of the day.
We have Paul Guenther in the studio with us, joining me and Mike Carlin for Eagles Draft Talk, a longtime assistant defensive coordinator for the Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. This is kind of like within your inner circle of the NFL. If you like somebody and that the GM doesn't listen to you, and the guy goes somewhere and becomes a star, does that get around the league like? You know what I mean? Like gossip. Yeah, everybody knows all the 28 teams are like more focused in on what the GMs and other teams are doing, right?
I think it goes both ways. Okay. Sometimes the coach may like a guy and the GM doesn't, or vice versa. And you remember those conversations, but it's not like it's water under the bridge.
You don't say, "I told you so."
Yeah, you can't let and it could have gone anyway. So it's just, obviously you remember those things. Right. Obviously you may say, "Hey, I remember I like this guy," but but it's over at that point. You move on and you go with what the pick is with the team and you make the best of it.
Paul, you always hear about in-house security with teams. So let's just take Carter. Okay. Is Carter the kind of guy that they would go to Carter or his agent and say, "Hey, we're really thinking of taking you at a high, like top 10. Mm-hmm. You're going to get paid millions of dollars, but our security is going to be all over you 24 hours a day." Does that kind of stuff happen? Like, would you take someone to say, "We'll sign you, but here's our rules"? Or do players' agents say, "No, we don't go by that"?
Well, he's getting drafted, so it's not like we're recruiting. It's we draft the guy, he's ours. So you're going to say, once you draft the guy, you're going to say, "Hey, this is how we're going to handle things." That's happened a lot.
Good. Okay.
So I'm just like, yeah, that happens a lot.
It's so cool to get your perspective of the inner workings of the NFL leading up to the draft. But draft day itself, how nerve-wracking is that for like the GM and the rest of the staff? I mean, you could do something wrong, it could affect your whole draft board.
Well, yeah, that's really what's going on this week. Well, really last week, because the board's set. Let's say,
like you only have three. What, do you got 5 minutes between picks?
Yeah, well, you're on the clock, but you've already been through these scenarios. Basically, like the board gets set. Let's say mid-April, it's set. Wherever round everybody thinks they're going, and then you go through scenarios. Everybody gets a team. You have a mock draft. You might run through that a couple times, and then the people you put
but I'm sure there's always something scenario comes up that
you
didn't
call trade. But you do that. You come up with different scenarios. Everyone comes up with a scenario. So and so called. They want to trade up to our pick, or they want us to trade back. And these are the three guys that are on the board. Do we trade back, or we trade up, whatever it may be? But you do the best you can leading up to. But certainly when you're on the clock, usually you'll have a list of guys. Hey, if we pick and one of these three guys are on the board, we're happy with taking any of the three. Even if there's three, let's just say Eagles are picking 10 and whoever's picking 7th is on the board, is on the clock, and your three guys are there.
Right.
You're going to sit there and take one of them.
All right. One last question before we go to break, because we have a whole hour with you and we're going to be able to pick Paul's brain. What is Howie Roseman's strength, would you say, if you had to nail one down? What's his number one strength as a GM here in Philadelphia?
I think he's willing to take risks. I think he understands league value of players. And
does he listen to other? Does he listen to his assistant coaches?
Absolutely. From the times I've been around Howie, he'll get information. He is a good listener.
Because sometimes there's their perception of that he goes on. Was it a couple of years ago? He was high-fiving people, and it was a bad look because I guess one of the assistant coaches, he didn't pick who he wanted him to pick.
Yeah, it was on TV.
It was on TV. That was just all for TV, though, right? I mean,
yeah, sure. No,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's why I don't have cameras in the draft room anyway. So, but that's just the way it is these days.
All right, we got a full hour with Paul Guenther. I'm looking forward to talking about individual players, Carlin. I mean, there's a lot. We're sitting at number 10, and everybody wants the running back.
When we come back, I got a great one.
Bijan Robinson. I've seen him play twice. He's all that, but is that the direction the Eagles want to go? We'll get into it on the other side. For 83 years, Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits in South Jersey, just a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark with a friendly staff. It's no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City, with the most competitive prices around. Circle Liquor Store is now a proud sponsor of the second hour of the Locker Room with Billy Schwein. Throwing a party? You have everything you need for a successful party. Check out their website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. That's Circle Liquor Store in Summers Point. Tell them the Locker Room sent you. Folks, I'm here to tell you about Lavari Seafood Bar and Grill, located on Route 50 and Tuckahoe Road in Petersburg, New Jersey, just 8 minutes over Ocean City's 34th Street Bridge. Hey, it's an old school bar, 18 big screen TVs, daily specials, open every day at 11 a.m., celebrating 15 years in business. Every Thursday night is wing night, $1 wings, $2.50 domestic draft. Live music every Friday night. You want to book a private party? Give Dave Lavari a call at 609-628-2225. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more here with our Eagles draft talk. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Mike Carlin right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. Coming up on Monday's show, we'll look back at the Sixers weekend against the Nets, plus Phillies weekend against the Rockies, and it is draft week, everybody. All that and more. Football at 4 with Jeff Mosher, all on a Monday edition of The Bash.
The Sports Bash, weekdays from 2 to 6 on 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's sports leader.
Ocean City's real estate market is red hot. You need an agent that has the knowledge and expertise to help. Contact Ocean City's top agent, Mark Rhymes. Mark has been selling real estate for 30 years in South Jersey. He can answer all your real estate questions and find you the perfect property. He's available anytime on his cell at 609-425-2042. When Philadelphia star athletes are looking for a house at the beach, they contact Mark Rhymes, specializing in buying and selling vacation homes, single-family homes, condominiums, and duplexes, residential and commercial, as well as new construction projects or investment opportunities. Mark Rhymes, he's your agent at the beach. Give him a call right now, 609-425-2042, or check out his website at grimes.com.
Hundreds of Volkswagens in stock and on sale. Hundreds of Mitsubishis, even 100 electric Bintelli golf carts in stock and on sale at Tom's River Auto Group. And not one a penny over sticker. Plus, Tom's River Auto has a Birds fan bonus. $500 off just for showing up in a team jersey, hat, socks, whatever. How easy is that? New or used, Tom's River's got plenty, but hurry. On sale, they're flying. Click Tom'sRiverAutoGroup.com.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson & Sons for electrical. They're number one.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd rather
counts.
not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the free 97.3 ESPN mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live from the Tom's River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schwein, Mike Carlin, producer Danny Ryan today. The youth guys engage against youth next week. Danny will restart that. In the meantime, we got longtime assistant NFL coach Paul Guenther with us. All right, Paul, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Yep. I'm looking at your resume: Jacksonville, Washington Redskins, Cincinnati Bengals, Oakland Raiders, Oakland, Vegas Raiders, Minnesota Vikings. Compare those cities to Philadelphia. You're from there.
Oh yeah.
Talk about the fans. Talk about what being a coach here in this
Passionate.
city. Talk about our fans and
Yeah, I mean, just growing up here in Philly, the Eagles fans and coming in as a visiting team, they're the best in the league for sure. I mean, Cincinnati's a smaller market,
right?
They're passionate. The Raiders fans are obviously they come from the dirt, and they come out of the dirt wherever you're at. I mean, but the Philly fans, just the knowledge base of the X's and O's and the players. And,
do you appreciate playing for or working for a team that has a fandom like this, a fan base like ours?
Oh, no question. No, you feel it. You feel the energy. I mean, you just know it every day that, in between August and in January, they're talking football. I mean, that's just the way it is here.
It's a 365 thing. We've had Dave Clemick on here several times with us, and Dave's a good guy. He was talking about the fans in Kansas City as opposed to the fans in Philadelphia. He said during the season, Kansas City fans are great, but still not quite as where we are here in Philadelphia with as far as Philadelphia fans are diehard fans. I mean, they're selling it. When the Eagles stunk for many years, it was sold out.
Billy, when I'm talking about the show, I'm saying, well, what do you guys talk about? You just talk about the Sixers. I said, guys, stop it. I said, we can talk about the Philadelphia Eagles 12 months a year.
Yeah.
Every show, every weekend.
Show.
Yeah.
And I said, that's this town. And it is.
All right, let's get into some X's and O's, Paul, with you. I told you earlier that there are 4 teams that have 2 picks in the first round.
Yeah.
The Houston Texans, Seattle Seahawks, Detroit Lions, and Philadelphia Eagles. Do you think Howie Roseman's going to try to be a little creative with his 2 picks? I mean, trade down, trade up. What do you see the Eagles doing?
That's just what I was saying before. I don't think he's going to be scared. If there's a guy he doesn't like, there's a lot of guys that are still left that he likes to move back a couple spots and get equity for the next draft.
They got 13 picks next year.
I know. I'm just saying, you can never have enough as you keep going. You can package picks together to get the guy you actually want. So I think, obviously, like I said, if there's 3 guys that they like and there's only 3 picks going, and they're going to sit and take the best guy. I have a gut feeling they're going to go on the offensive side, just basically,
because that's in their DNA.
Well, I just
offensive league,
right? I just think that they're, a lot of teams are in the mode now. Hey, we're going to outscore everybody. Kind of like what happened in the Super Bowl, and that's how they won a Super Bowl, and that's how they lost the Super Bowl. They outscored.
Because look, it was 44-31 against the Patriots, right?
So with that said, Paul,
yeah,
the 10th pick. And Robinson's there, and we've never taken a running back, and Howie's never done anything like that.
And you're a defensive
coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when you're being more vocal to say, hey, guys, listen, I can't imagine going against the Eagles if they have Robinson now, because now you have a quarterback that runs. You got a running back that runs. You got 2 wide receivers. You got the tight end. You got the front line that everybody loves.
Best in the league.
How do you stop a team like that? And everybody's worrying about 2-3 years down the road when he has to sign his second contract. I look at it as I'm not worrying about 3-4 years down the road. We're in the opportunity to win a Super Bowl is right now, maybe the year, 2 years later. But if we can grab someone like him, do you grab him?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a talent. I mean, he's probably one of the best backs to come out in the last 5 or 10 years because he can do so much. He can catch the ball. He's good in protection. Obviously, he's a great runner, great vision. So, I mean, that would be a consideration to do that. Or do you look at it and say, hey, there's an offensive lineman that we really like, and we have the running back position in the NFL has kind of dwindled a little bit. Like, guys are getting paid $4 or $5 million a year as top guys in the league, as you see in free agency. So, are they in the mindset we can find it back at any time, or we can fiin a guy maybe later in the draft?
Well, that seems to be conventional wisdom that you can get a running back.
You can just slide him in. You just grab someone, slide him in.
Market or the later round in the draft.
But if he's this good, like he said,
that's
5-10 years.
Yeah, I mean, and I say, but there's some other good backs. I mean, the kid from Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama.
Yeah, he said he wants to go to the Cowboys.
I like the kid from Tulane. I mean, the kid from Tulane is going to be a mid-round pick, and I think he had a big Senior Bowl. He had a big year. They had a big year, Tulane, and that's a guy I think nobody's talking about.
We're being joined by longtime NFL assistant Paul Guenther here with us in the locker room with Mike Carlin and I. Mike, John, this is Paul. This is a big draft for defensive backs. There's a lot of defensive backs.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles don't have a lot of depth in there. Would you? I mean, there's like the guy from Georgia, Ringo. This guy that I really like. Everybody's talking about he's a physical marvel. Would you draft a defensive back with
a corner?
Yeah.
You can never have enough corners.
You're a defensive coordinator. I'm asking you.
Listen, as a defensive coordinator, I would say this in the draft. I said it 15 years ago. I'll say it now. You can never have enough rushers, and you can never have enough corners because corners get hurt. They're thoroughbreds. Yeah. They pull hamstrings. And then if one guy goes down, now you're having to roll coverage to the guy who's probably not as good. All teams have been through that, and then you can never have enough rushers, guys that affect the quarterback, because if he doesn't have time to throw, you don't have to cover as long. So to me, linebacker, safeties, those are guys like. And I coached linebackers before I was a coordinator. Right. And I always say, listen, I'll find, here we are in the 5th round. Do you want to take a linebacker? I would say, is there anybody else on the board that even on offensive side that's better, that somebody really likes? Because I can get this guy after the draft as a free agent. I've done enough work. I know the kid. Right. We have a relationship. I think I can get him after the draft or in the 7th round. Let's do that and we'll develop him. That's just really, unless he's a for sure guy, rushers and cover guys.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been told, and it's the fact that these games are one up front, right? Defensive and offensive line. Yep. But it seems to me that we're always looking for that safety, that stud defensive back, and this is a top-heavy thing. Maybe you trade down a couple spots and pick up a Ringo.
Right.
Right.
Or trade up and get Carter.
Well,
like if Carter's there at 6 or 7,
we went to the Mike Carlin and I went to the Maxwell Award last year, not this year, but last year. And
Bryce Young was there.
Jordan Davis was there.
Yeah.
And
huge.
You knew that was a hit right away, but Carter is, everybody wants him.
Everybody wants him. And we have 2 picks. 10 and
so what
is it?
Carlin?
If he's there at 6 or 7, I grab him.
Let's just take it. Let's take it for instance. You're sitting at 10, and who knows where the quarterback? You don't need a quarterback, right?
You don't need a
quarterback. So you know Stroud and Bryce Young, they're going to go right probably before 10. Who knows if Will Levis is going to go before 10, and who knows maybe Anthony Richardson, someone trades up and takes him before 10 because he's a talent. Right now you're looking at you have to have 6 guys in the draft, 6 to get one of those. You can get one of those 6 guys. That's how
Anderson.
That's how you look
got
at
Anderson from Alabama. He's going to go in the top 5 or 6.
And so I mean,
so Carter could drop. He could be at 7, 6, 7, 8.
And with his history, I guess,
I mean, is that when the defensive quarter is that when you're running the Howie? You say, Howie, we cannot pass up on this guy. He's here.
We're not running to him. This conversation's been had. I promise you that conversation was had in that building this past week. Hey, if this guy's sitting at 10, what do we do? And I'm sure they already have the answer to that. So there's not even going to be a discussion. Hey, if he's there, we're taking him. If he's there, we can't take the risk on the character. I mean, one or the other. It's that simple.
I'll tell you what, it's to me like it's nerve-wracking. You say these picks they come before is it real time with TV and the actual pick, or is it
it's
a little bit of a
delay? Yeah, just because they have to call it into the league. The league's got to okay the pick or the trade, whatever it is, before they can announce it on TV.
It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I think look at the NFL. They dominate the whole calendar. I mean, it's April and we're what I mean. We're spending a whole hour talking about the Birds.
Look,
because of the interest.
The league has changed so much. They have something. The only time July is the only month where really, I mean, middle June, middle July is the only dead period in the NFL.
Yeah.
Paul, let me ask you this question. You've been blessed with some great coaches, head coaches, whether it's Marvin Lewis or John Gruden, Mike Zimmer. Does one guy stick out in your mind when it comes to draft night? There's one guy more local, or the head coach is pretty much sitting back and letting the general manager do his
that's
thing?
A great question, because I like my perception of John Gruden would be like he's like a whirling dervish in there. Like get him
there's not honestly it's the conversation's more so the rounds 2, 3 and on the middle rounds, because once the first round, everyone kind of has a feeling what we're going to do in the first round. Like I said, we talked about those scenarios.
Right.
But as the draft starts to go and names start coming off the board, that's where it comes a little bit less, fitted. So those are where the conversations come up. But you really, like if 2 guys have the same grade and let's say one's a corner, one's a rusher, or one's a wide receiver, those are where the conversations come up. That's where you can't before the draft, you can't get ready for those type of things. Say 3rd, 4th round guys.
Is it easier for you, Paul, to work like when I'm seeing these three coaches? Gruden was an offensive guy. Okay. Is it much easier to work for a Marvin Lewis and a Mike Zimmer when they're in their back of their mind, they're more of a defensive guy like you?
No, I worked for Marvin 15 years, and his last 4 as a coordinator. And Marvin was great. He never one time in the 4 years as a coordinator told me, I want you to run this defense or I want you to make this call. Never one time.
Nice.
And so he was really good to work for. He was very much of a CEO style head coach.
Let you do your job.
Let you do your job.
Hey Paul, are you with me? Knock on wood.
Yeah. That's right.
Were you there when they did the Hard Knocks?
Yes, I was.
I was like, that was the cool. I thought he was the coolest. That was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
He comes off from a guy who doesn't know him at all, never met him, but to me, he comes off as one of those guys that no one says anything bad about him. He's just a down to earth, just a great guy.
Yeah,
when you hear him talk and stuff,
he seems like he's like really like just super driven, super intense,
knows what he wants,
and you can't change. The perception is it's good his way or the highway.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
It's football is everything. I mean,
everything.
Yeah, he's always thinking like he would say, "Let's go out and have dinner with the wives. We'll get them dressed up," and literally like a minute into the dinner, once we have a glass of wine poured, then all of a sudden we're talking draft or.
I mean,
I'm like, John, I'm out with my wife here.
I thought that Hard Knocks was the coolest thing. I mean, he could be in Hollywood. I mean, he's an actor, and does he play to the camera? As much as it seems like he does.
No, well, that's up for you to decide. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you've had some. What makes a great head coach? As from your standpoint of view, as an assistant coach, what are the qualities you like to see in a head coach?
I think you got to relate to that. You got to know what buttons to push each and every day is different. So you got to push the button of the team and push the buttons to each individual player. You got to get to know those guys because, like I said, they don't care. The players don't care how much you know until they know you care.
And I love that.
So that's just really what it is. And I think you got to let your hiring coaches let them do their jobs, organize it. Be precise in your goals and your longevity.
Are you surprised and we got to we're up against, we got to take a break real quick. Are you surprised at the success Nick Sirianni's had? I mean, remember he was like an afterthought, really. I mean, they couldn't get who they wanted. They had him come down and I think he was in his jeans or whatever, right?
Right.
Are you surprised with his success?
No, I mean obviously the team's very young guy, and that's kind of the league's going through that way. A lot of younger coaches, those things. But no, I'm not surprised at all.
He's got players.
Yeah.
Well, coaches are good when they got players.
That helps.
Yeah, but you know what? There's like the great coaches that always had like a good they can inspire people with like Lou Holtz and even John Gruden. I mean, you listen to him talk. People run through a wall for him.
Yes. Yeah, you got to be able to in the right time because if you do it too much,
then it gets watered down.
Exactly. And the players know. The players see. They want to know you're going to get them better.
Right.
And that's basically what it is.
All right, we're having a lot of fun here. We're talking Eagles draft. We have longtime NFL assistant coach and defensive coordinator Paul Guenther with us. For over 83 years, Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, spirits in South Jersey. Just a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark. With a friendly staff, it's no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City with the most competitive prices around. Circle Liquor is now a proud sponsor of the second hour of the locker room with Billy Schwein. Throwing a party? Let Chet and his staff make sure you have everything you need. Check out the website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. That's 609-927-2921. Circle Liquor Stores in Summers Point, New Jersey. Tell them the locker room sent you. Hey, there's a new wind blowing at Maserati the Main Line. The all-new Maserati Gregale midsize SUV has officially arrived. Stop by Maserati the Main Line, located in Devon, PA, just minutes away from Center City, Philadelphia, to experience it for yourself. With class-leading space, advanced driving, and technology features, the Gregale makes every journey a thrilling experience. From your daily commute to weekend road trips, the Maserati Gregale elevates every moment into something truly special. Test drive the all-new Gregale for yourself to see and experience how it makes every day exceptional. Visit them online at motml.com or give them a call at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800. Ask for Michael Pileggi to schedule your test drive today. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more Eagles draft talk with Paul Guenther, Mike Carlin, Billy Schwein, right here in the locker room on 97.3 ESPN.
It's the 2023 NFL Draft exclusively on 97.3 ESPN. The Philadelphia Eagles have 2 picks in the first round in this year's NFL Draft, and you can listen to see how it all plays out. Round 1 coverage begins this Thursday at 7 p.m. It's the 2023 NFL Draft, and it's only on South Jersey's exclusive radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. 97.3 ESPN.
Train presents The Unstoppables. Those captains of comfort, those gargantuans of the guarantee, those satisfaction savants who persevere perilously beyond probability as the raconteurs of reliability. Here's to Train's heralded heroes of heating and air conditioning, those comfort kings with a tireless tenacity for total turnaround. The Train Comfort Specialists. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, this is Joe Lenigan, owner of Lenigan Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call us today for your free train system quote at 609-399-1200 or online at ocnjplumber.com. And please don't forget to ask for the military and senior discount.
Calling again and again. Calling again and again.
Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, the pizza you're gonna love. It's got the freshest taste that you'll find any place. Randazzo's Pizza, there's one right nearby. Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza. It's a pizza like you've never had before. Eat it or take it home, no matter where you roam. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Why would you call anyone else besides Randazzo's Pizzeria and Family Restaurant, 34th and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Open year-round, 7 days a week, offering free delivery on the whole island and to the beach. Pizza, pasta, salads, entrees, subs, paninis, and wraps. Voted best of the shore. Call 814-1600. 814-1600.
Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Hi, this is ex-Philadelphia Eagles tight end Ken Dunnick, and I'm the current publisher of Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, and I'm asking you to become a Camden County police officer and help make our city a better place to live. The Camden County Police Department is now hiring for sworn officers who are going to make a difference in our community. The first year's salary for the position is $51,000. So join the effort today to be part of something bigger than yourself. Visit CamdenCountyPD.org to apply online. That's CamdenCountyPD.org. Thank you.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd rather
counts.
not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now, more of The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live here at the Toms River Auto Group studio in Northfield. Billy Schwein, Mike Carlin in the locker room today with longtime defensive assistant coach and coordinator in the NFL, Paul Guenther. Paul, thanks for coming in, man. It's pretty cool to be able to pick your brain, someone that's so close to the the coaching staff, especially for the draft. A good draft can make or break you, right? I mean, you
especially at the quarterback.
Right, I mean,
if you got that one or first pick, second pick, you better nail it, because if not, you're in trouble
so there's
for
a lot
years.
of pressure on the brass to get it done.
No question. I mean, like we said before, if you have good players, you makes you a better coach. So I mean, that's the lifeblood of any team, college, NFL, whatever. So you better get the draft right.
Can I ask you this? What's the one head coach that you learned the most from?
I worked with Mike Zimmer as when he was a defensive coordinator. So and then I went back. He tried to hire me back when I stayed on at Cincinnati. He got the head coaching job in Minnesota in 2012. And he asked me to come with him as his coordinator in Minnesota, but Cincinnati kept me, and we stayed. I had little kids, so we stayed in Cincinnati. And then when he had a chance to get me back, he hired me. So I would just say we worked closely together with Mike and I. So from an X's and O's standpoint, he would be the guy probably that I learned the most from.
Is it possible to defensive coordinator, head coach, not to actually get along but work well together?
No,
you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be the best friend with the head coach and everything, but you got to get along with these guys. You work with them.
Yeah, there's so many hours you put in that
Right.
you're with. It's not necessary, but it's helpful if you guys get along. I mean, but I've seen guys on staff that don't, maybe not hang out with each other away from the building,
right?
But come in and work together. It's just you got to be a pro.
What about the actual coaching of the modern athlete, the modern football player? I mean, there's so much has changed in the NFL. You know, with the collective bargaining agreement, you can't hit in the preseason.
No more two-a-days.
No more two-a-days.
No
like
more
Dick
hitting
Vermeil's
pads.
going, he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not. You know, we've had Dick on before. We asked him, but from your perspective, how different is it from when you first started coaching?
Well, I mean, I got into the league in 2001, and it has changed dramatically. You know,
for the better or for the worse, you would say.
Some for the better, some for the worse. I still think that you try not to tackle as much in practice, but you got to teach the fundamentals. I think the time that we have with the players, like with the fundamentals, like a lot of these guys come out of LSU and Arkansas don't know how to backpedal.
Really?
That
was my next question to you. Like, how much coaching do you guys have to do? These guys, if you get to the NFL, you're like,
you would think they know everything.
You know everything.
No, just the opposite.
Really?
Just the opposite.
See, that's why we have been here. That's shocking.
And I'm telling you, the college game and the NFL game are almost like two different sports.
So you're saying somebody that's been coached by like Alabama,
Saban? Yeah, no, I'm not saying
he didn't name Alabama.
No,
I saw
I'm
that.
just saying to you, some guys will come in way more prepared with fundamentals and techniques.
Aren't you shocked at that, Carlin?
Yeah, I'm in love. I always think at that level, whether it's in Arkansas, LSU, like big time programs to me, you would think if they're going to the NFL that they can you're going to make them better, but they're pretty close to being there already.
Like you got to find sandpaper them down a little bit.
Okay, let's just say you got a right tackle from Oklahoma State where they throw the ball 70 times, or Texas Tech throws the ball 70 times a game. Now you're going to put him in an NFL team and say, hey, you got to move a 305-pound man that's on your nose. And drive him back on 3rd and 1 and get the first down. Well, they haven't done it, so it's like
so that's like Andre Dillon, right? He went to Washington, right? They passed like 75% of their offense,
right?
So he's not used to run.
So it's just the games is so different.
But don't you take that into the coaches take that into consideration when drafting somebody like that?
Sure,
right?
you do. But, it takes time to develop them, and if you don't have the time with the player, that's what I'm trying to say. That these guys the less is not always better. I mean, you got to really now as a coach, you really have to be organized with your time and the techniques and fundamentals of everything because it is poor coming out.
Paul, for the last 20 years, let's just say you've been on the sidelines. Can you remember a player from a defensive guy, an offensive guy running past you saying, this guy's so much better than I ever thought he was, kind of thing? Like, are there certain players that stand out in your mind and they could be not playing now?
Yeah, I'll tell you, my first year in the league, I was working for Coach Spurrier at Washington Redskins, and we were in a blitz period, and coach's answer is always to run a fade or a slant, and we had pretty good receivers, but when we checked to the fade, I'll never forget Champ Bailey turned his hips and ran and one-handed an interception, and I've never seen anything like that. I'm like, holy, that was the first time really as a coach you're like, this is what the NFL is like. And it really, it was just a special play that he made. I was like, oh my God. But, I've been around guys like Darryl Green. I mean, because he's played for such a long time, and Bruce Smith, be around him. I saw him break the sack record. Those type of guys just
stand out.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, how important is it to have a player like some of the guys you just named, but also as leaders and set an example for the
locker room?
Look, that's the most important thing, and that is part of the draft. You're not just getting the player; you're getting a galvanizer of men, a locker room leader, and to me, that's why it's so important from the quarterback position. If you're going to pay a guy or you're going to draft a guy high, you better not just be, hey, if everything's perfect in the pocket, I can throw it in there. But if I got to manufacture a play or I got to lead the team, I got to be a voice, in the locker room. That's worth a lot.
And that's like intangibles.
No question.
All right. So with that being said, there's a couple of guys that have been making some noise about wanting to play in Philadelphia. Linebacker Devin White is
Tampa.
Tampa. He wants out of Tampa. And then of course, who's the safety? Bubba Baker.
Yeah, he's a tough. Yeah,
You like those guys?
Yeah.
Would you like to have them on your?
Oh no, without question. White was a good player coming out. I think he was the 5th pick in the draft, 6th pick somewhere in there. He's a fast. He can sideline the sideline guy, good cover guy. And Baker's he ain't real big. He's a smaller guy, but he can cover and he can blitz and he's tough and he loves football.
It's interesting because the salary cap obviously comes into play. This is where Howie excels, right? Making the numbers fit. I mean, you got this is pretty interesting, and I think it's amazing. But the contract that Jalen Hurts just signed, I mean, it's only a $6 million cap hit,
right?
The first year. I mean, how do you do that?
Right. That's what they're good at. Just understanding, how you allot the assets and with the money, and so you can go ahead and get those guys.
In comparison, Daniel Jones for the Giants, the cap hit that the Giants are going to take for his first year of his contract, $21 million.
Right.
And Jalen Hurts is by far and away better quarterback than Daniel Jones.
Without question.
Paul, let me ask you this question. There's a defensive tackle coming out of Eastern Michigan, and there's a defensive tackle coming out of Georgia, Alabama, whatever, SEC. They're both rated, as you say, let's give them 8s, okay? In the back of your mind, does it ever come, they're equal. We both got 8s, or is it ever sneak in your mind, one's coming out of the SEC and one's coming out of whatever they are, Eastern Michigan?
No question, because they're playing against good players. And it's like a corner, okay? If his corner is coming out, hey, what receiver has this guy really covered all year? He hasn't covered nobody. Let's go back to the first game they played Ohio State, and he gets torn up. You know what I mean? So, but then again, some of the middle level, like the Max, like for instance, I was watching Max Crosby coming out of Eastern Michigan. You said that, and I was watching his film. I'm like, man, this guy has really good bend. So I yelled down to the assistant D-line coach, Travis Smith, who's with the Bears now. I said, Travis, go get a fight to Ypsilanti and go see this kid and see if he can put weight on. And Travis came back and said, this guy he's going to be 285. 275, 285, and he was all motor and can bend, and we wound up drafting him in the 4th round. Yeah.
So what about a guy like Penn State's Joey Porter?
Yep.
He only had 1 interception. A lot of people said that they didn't throw to him. They didn't throw to his side.
Yeah. They stayed away from him.
Right, but how do you he's not being tested, so how do you really know?
Right, and one of
the perception of his game kept. He wasn't challenged, basically.
Right. One of the crazy, like when you're going through the evaluation of the DB, especially corners, I never like when guys say, he's bad ball skills. Well, you have to get to the ball before you can catch it.
Right.
And a lot of times these corners are playing corner because obviously they're probably receivers at some point said, I can be a better corner because maybe I don't have the ball skills. But
one thing I noticed about a lot of the NFL corners today, and as a defensive coordinator, I don't know if this drives you nuts, but I hate it when defensive backs don't locate the ball. Like when you're taught in high school, and college, you're running with the guy. You gotta look back. Not that like blocking with their back, with their head to with their back of their head to the quarterback, just like screening.
And that to me is, that's a big part of the evaluation. Can he locate the ball?
Like when I saw the kid Ringo from Georgia and the Eric Ricks from Alabama. Those guys always had their head looking to where the ball located.
No penalties against them.
No,
there's no flags.
They stayed with the receiver, and they knew where the ball was.
I'm going to give you a nice term you can use from now on. We call it in phase. If you're in phase with the receiver, meaning that I'm staying hip to hip with the guy or close to him.
Right.
I'm in phase.
So you're feeling them the whole way down.
Yeah, you're in phase with the guy,
Okay.
and if I'm in phase with the guy and the ball's in the air, some guys will turn, some guys are scared to do it. So that's a unique trait that you would look for.
Or if you're getting beat, I guess that's your only thing you can do. But it just seems like these guys, like watching. I've watched Georgia 3 times this year. I watched Alabama several times. Out of all the guys, obviously coming from a bigger program, like you stipulated earlier, Carlin, that you'd rather have guys from Alabama, Georgia, or somebody all day long than somebody from Eastern Michigan
because their practices are even better. They're going up against the best.
You're seeing the difference in talent. They're also located. They're doing fundamentally, like you said, that you have to coach them when they get to your level.
Yeah.
But you want to get that. You want to see that before
you're gonna err on the side of the bigger school.
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Carson Wentz, right? He goes to Dakota,
North Dakota.
Was there any trepidation in your part? Like, he's
no,
got great talent.
No question.
Right?
No doubt. Yeah. No, I mean, who's he? Please, the best team he's played was what?
But they didn't look at Joe Flacco, though.
That's true.
I mean,
You know, yeah. I mean,
it's a crapshoot.
It is. The draft is not an exact thing. We all know that. So it's just you got to know what's in the man's chest, in my opinion.
See,
and then,
hey, Carlin, hear that? It's all about heart.
Big guys beat up on little guys.
That's what I say.
Yeah,
That's,
that's right.
that's what I say all the time.
We always say that you draft little corners, you got to play with little corners.
So we got to get Paul in here to tell that to Josh, because
Yeah.
I've been maintaining for the 8 years that I've been on this station that big guys beat up on little guys.
That's true.
And I don't care what sport it is.
No question.
You see a 6'6" pitcher bearing down on you. He's crazy. Heck, he's releasing the ball halfway down the.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pipe. Yep. Yeah. No question. So I mean, like I said, you would always err on the side of an SEC or one of the bigger conferences in that way.
So maybe you get Carter. You got three. You got the Kobe Dean.
Man,
you got three of the
Jordan.
three guys
Jordan
that played on
Davis.
that national championship team.
Yep.
I'll take
So
it.
your son is a senior going into Ocean City, correct?
Correct.
So this is going to be a fun year for you.
Yeah, big year.
Is he playing football?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's starting tailback.
My nephews go to Ocean City High School.
Oh, cool.
Colin and Cody Schwein.
Great program.
And Cody's going to go out for football.
Do you know the pro? Do you
He's
know,
actually training with Dave Clemick right now.
Yeah, my son's there too.
Bill,
okay, so
do
maybe
you know
they
what's coming there? Like first week of September?
Yeah,
like the best teams in the country.
Yeah, the battle.
I don't know what it's
yeah.
called.
Yeah, Battle of the Beach.
Battle of the Beach.
Three straight days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
All right, for over 83 years, Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits in South Jersey. It's a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark with a friendly staff. It's no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City, with the most competitive prices around. Circle Liquor is now a proud sponsor of the second hour of the locker room with Billy Schwein. Throwing a party? Let Chet and his staff make sure you have everything you need to have a successful party. Check out their website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. That's 609-927-2921. Circle Liquor Store in Summers Point, New Jersey. Tell them the locker room sent you. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that's run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give him a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. Of course, I took Bill Elliott, Mike Carlin, to the Jersey Man and Philly Man at the Chickies and Pete's last week, and it was a great event. And he got to meet Ken, who's doing really well. Ken had a
He's feeling better.
quadruple bypass.
Yeah.
And Ken's happy to report that he's made a
Good.
full recovery and he's looking really good. All right, when we return, we'll wrap it up. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein and Mike Carlin right here as we're joined by longtime NFL assistant head coach Paul Guenther right here on 97.3 ESPN.
This week on Sunday Night Baseball.
Deep left field, Pete Alonso goes yard into the bullpen.
The New York Mets finish up the last leg of a 7-game West Coast road trip when they go head-to-head with Brandon Crawford and the San Francisco Giants.
And it's gone. Brandon Crawford, a home run.
The New York Mets and the San Francisco Giants. Coverage begins today at 6 Eastern.
This is the play-by-play home of Sunday Night Baseball, exclusively on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson and Sons for electrical, they're number one.
Every year, hundreds of children suffer from unintentional injuries or death due to unsecured guns. Camden County and Moms Demand Action South Jersey are asking for your help to reduce gun violence by spreading the Be Smart message.
Store guns unloaded, locked, and separate from ammunition. And talk to other parents about secure gun storage.
It's up to us to prevent these tragedies and save lives. Visit CamdenCounty.com/Be Smart to learn how we can stop gun accidents and deaths together.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through April 23rd, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stopped, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text PLACE to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text PLACE to 200-300 right now. Text the word PLACE to 200-300. Don't wait. Text PLACE to 200-300.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, we're back here in the locker room, broadcasting live from the Tom's River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Paul, man, it's really cool having you in here to pick your brain and get the other side of it, something we don't
behind the
we're not privy
scenes.
to, you
Yep,
know?
that the normal fan just has no idea what's going on.
Anything that we've left out, like that would you like that you want people to know about the upcoming draft, or
No, I mean, I just think that
or how the inner workings of that work?
It's a long process. I mean, the scouts work at it hard, and it is the ultimate collaborative effort. If you want to, we
Right.
talked about it earlier, and I just think, every team's different about how they go about it, and like I said, you just got to be ready to go for now that they split the draft up first round, 2 and 3, and then the rest.
Right.
It gives you a little bit of a time to think about, hey. Now the first pick on Friday, the first pick of the second round, is a huge pick.
Yeah.
Because whoever has that pick, I don't know who has it.
It's,
Every team's going to call, and that is a hot commodity ticket because they have time to reset their board.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have the first pick in the second round.
So I guarantee you the
Texans have the third, have the
right,
next one.
right. So everyone's going to call the Steelers no matter what happens because there's going to be 2 or 3 players that teams had first round picks on that didn't get taken.
They did get them,
and then they may get like a first round pick the following year. I mean, that's a hot pick. And then the first pick in the 4th round is the same way on Saturday.
So let me ask you about a meddling owner. Like Jerry Jones has a reputation of being a meddling
Good
owner.
question.
As a
Yeah.
coach, you don't obviously want that, but is that common practice in the league, or are there because you got the inside, like the scuttlebutt,
Yeah.
like what owners are meddlesome and
It's really no different than the head coach not letting you do your job. I mean, every they own the team, so they
Right.
can ultimately do whatever they want. But it's so you trust the process. I just always felt like you
trust the process.
You just
No,
the
I
whole
know
process.
you're-
I know what you're saying.
No, I-
You're going right, but I just think
I didn't trust that process.
I think I you've done a whole year's worth of work, sometimes more, to get to a day or get to a pick. You don't want to change course because you're emotional about it.
Yeah, you don't want to get too emotional, like buying a car, right? You don't want to get too emotional with a player.
Exactly.
Wow, how about that, guys? 2 hours.
2 hours
Yeah.
flies.
That's like the fastest hour of your life, right? All right, now what a great show. We got the Phillies on today.
Early.
12, right? As soon as we wrap it
Wheeler,
up.
Wheeler's
right
on the mound.
Yeah, Wheeler. And hopefully the Phillies can get a win today. And, of course, we got a lot of baseball, a lot of basketball playoffs today, and the NHL playoffs. So we got a big weekend left here, and enjoy the rest of it. Chris Mike Gill and the Sports Bash. We'll have all the weekend's action for you. Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. I want to thank Tommy Greene for doing On the Mound with us every Sunday. I want to thank Paul Guenther for coming in. We really appreciate it. Mike Carlin and Danny Ryan, excellent. See you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by The Locker Room with Billy Schwein.
Here's what you missed on Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
Shefty is like ball of energy, racing around with all his phones at one time, and he's got 8 million things going on.